Do you know that change in personnel is usually the key objective when there's conflict happens in the workplace? And when companies reach out to us, they're usually in the market of hope. Back in mid-1990s, when I first served on a board, when there were a lot of dysfunctionalities, I knew I was in trouble and needed to do something different. The board was struggling and arguing about strategies and who was supposed to do tasks to complete the company's objectives. I said, I can solve this problem. I'll just pull out responsibility and accountability chart and tell you who does what and when. I'm good. I focused on changing schedules and teaching people communication skills. And although that was good, I thought I was brilliant. But clearly, I was missing the heart of the issue. And years later, my husband invited me to a couples workshop. And as I listened to the distressed couples through the lens of attachment theory and through the model called emotionally focused therapy, and as I was introduced to Dr. Sue Johnson, suddenly it dawned on me that the same thing was happening on the board. This was in 2010, and this began my first of many trainings with Dr. Sue Johnson. There are certain key moments in our lives that impact and change the trajectory of our life and careers, and this was definitely the one for me. Since then, I have integrated the emotionally focused approach, and it really has transformed my work with boards, teams, and leaders. It also profoundly impacted my own life and my personal relationships. I was drawn to the attachment theory and the science of emotional connection for two reasons. At the heart of attachment theory, which says that we are wired for connection and we do our best and flourish in our work and life when we are connected with those who we depend on. When I first read attachment theory, it spoke so deeply to my heart. It reminded me of the key ingredient that was missing on my board. Emotional connection is a special bond that connects us. The second reason I was drawn to the emotionally focused approach is because it works. In the mid-1990s, there was a huge explosion in the field. And I'd like to say that Susan Johnson brought attachment theory to the forefront and introduced this emotionally focused approach that has rocked the marriage and family therapy. Well, it's time that we bring that same concept to the corporate world, that relationships are bonds, attachment bonds, the stuff that glues us together, that we seek out the comfort of our colleagues and board and team members. And when we connected, we have the sense of security and emotional safety, we thrive at our best. We collaborate, innovate, and solve challenges together. When we are distressed and we feel our team members are not there for us, that causes us to do crazy things like demand, criticize, and defend, just to be seen and heard. This might sound like common sense, but back then, this was revolutionary. Since then, I have been using emotionally focused approach in my work with boards and teams and leaders and creating a better sense of connection, better relationships, and helping companies to be much more effective using the process of emotional connection. The emotionally focused approach has been one of the most researched models over the past 20 years. And people have been trained with me and who worked with me. 100% of them have said, wow, this has impacted my life. Emotional connection process is clearly outlined in 9 steps, and it works because it gets to the heart of relationship conflict. It helps understand how people get stuck and helps them bond and they reconnect with each other. It creates productive conversations and really gets across what people want to understand.